This is the E-True Hollywood story of Hester Prynne. 17th century Boston, Hester was born in England, a strong-willed and incautious child. Arthur Dimmesdale was a young man who achieved fame in England as a theologian and then immigrated to America. He was a prestigious reverend that attended a well-known school in England. He quickly achieved fame because he was so passionate and eloquent in his sermons. He was a mentally strong man, but not so much physically.
I was the priest of Hester's church in Boston. We had a strong connection. It hurt me to see the town reject her and not to give her the chance to start anew.
Hester was forced to stand on a platform, holding her newborn child with a scarlet letter on her chest as part of her punishment. The town decided on this in order to make her feel ashamed for all to see. The governors of Boston all reprimanded her publicly.
The day I was forced to stand on the platform was the most shameful day of my life. As I tried to hide the A on my chest with my darling daughter Pearl, I realized that to these people, Pearl was just as much a symbol of shame as the A was.
Hester was completely isolated from the town. She got looks everywhere she went, and her only role in society was being a highly skilled seamstress.
Seeing Hester up there made me furious. With her nonchalant demeanor, holding that child of Satan in her arms, this was not a competent punishment. They should have branded that A on her forehead, not sewn it to her bosom.
Suspicions arose about Hester and Arthur's relationship. Was it solely religious, or was there something more?
And what about her husband? I heard he was lost at sea. Bless his memory.
After being captured by Native Americans, Hester's husband, Roger Prynne, who takes on the alias of Roger Chillingworth, arrived to this small Puritan settlement to find his long-lost wife, standing on a platform made for shame in front of the entire town of Boston with a baby in her arms.
The day after immigrating to Massachusetts and being captured by the Indians for 2 years, to see none other than my wife standing on a platform in front of the town, holding a bastard child in her arms with an embroidered scarlet A glaring from her chest.
Pearl, daughter of Hester Prynne, was secluded from the world along with her mother. Some people believed that Pearl was a symbol of shame, and many tried to put her in the home of a moral family to give her the chance to grow up as a proper Puritan child.
Well, I was the one that had to inform Hester of our intention to remove Pearl of her influence and place her in the hands of a more suitable family. I never saw Pearl as an object of sin. I saw her as this innocent child who was in need of nourishing care.
It upsets me to see her stray away from the path of God so severely. I think she deserved the opportunity to start over.
Hester was born in England. After marrying Roger Prynne, he sent her off to Boston with the intention of soon following, but 2 years later he had yet to arrive.
Yeah, originally I am from England. At a very young age, I married a man named Roger Prynne. I never truly loved him. We always knew that. I married him because he promised me things like wealth, security, and love, but it never really happened.
When I came to Boston, no one knew my true identity. When they found out I was a doctor, they permitted me to see Hester in her cell to treat her ailments. When she refused to tell me who the father was, I told her I was going to find him and mentally torture him.
Yeah, Chillingworth? Oh, we're great friends. I'm very ill, and Dr. Chillingworth treats my illness. He supplies me with both European medications and Indian herbal remedies.
My daughter used to ask me why Hester's child, Pearl, would never come out and play, and I would always tell her it's because she's not like us. She's born from sin.
When I would walk down the streets in Boston, I could feel people's eyes burning into me as they stared, judging me. Parents refuse to let their children come near my Pearl. They think she's the spawn of the devil, an elf, evil.
People still didn't know who the father of Pearl was, but Roger Chillingworth had some suspicions.
Yeah,
I began to suspect early on that Dimmesdale was the father. It made me angry to see him hide from his shame. I wanted to make him feel his hypocrisy.
As time went on, Chillingworth began to suspect that Dimmesdale's illness was caused by an ailment of the soul, not a physical ailment. Dimmesdale and Hester met one day in the forest as Dimmesdale was returning to Boston. A townsperson saw them go in, and they didn't see them return for quite some time.
That day in the forest was a huge turning point for mine and Hester's relationship. I finally let my feelings for Hester be known, after it had been emotionally killing me for 7 years. I felt free and strong again. I love Hester. We made a plan to go move back to Europe together and live out the rest of our lives together with our amazing daughter, Pearl.
Pearl, Arthur, and I were going to start a new life in Europe, but the day before we were going to leave, when I was talking to the ship captain, I was informed that my estranged husband, Chillingworth, was going to be coming on the boat as well in order to take care of Dimmesdale. I didn't know what to do at that point. He clearly had other intentions.
After the famous Election Day sermon, Dimmesdale announced to the town that he too was living in sin. He finally spoke about his and Hester's past.
When Dimmesdale announced to my congregation that he was the father of Hester's bastard child, I was so ashamed and embarrassed that I let this man influence my people.
As I watched Arthur tell the entire town of Boston that it was he who had accompanied me in sin, I watched life return to his soul. The timing of this transformation was devastating, as this was the moment I held him dying in my arms.